Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Ultimate Bucket List, and on today's show, I'm here at one of the most picturesque castles you'll ever likely to see. Conwy Castle. It's a historic castle that's located in the north side of Wales. And outside of Cardiff Castle, it's probably the biggest in the country. But what makes Conwy Castle so amazing is that it actually does look like this. And to get to Conwy Castle, you have to drive over this drawbridge, which, believe it or not, is the road into town, which is actually kind of cool. The car park is located pretty much in front of the castle, and there's this cool gift shop where you can buy yourself a Welsh dragon, if you want to, before you enter the castle itself. So guys, I've been to Conwy Castle before, but there's not been this much scaffolding here, and I don't know if they're renovating the place or reconstructing the place, I don't know, but it's definitely a lot different to the last time I was here. How strange. So once you walk past the entrance and all the scaffolding, you'll come to the entrance of the castle, which is absolutely amazing. And there's plenty of things to see, such as this weird statue of a guy thing. I'm not entirely sure about that, but there's plenty of things to see as soon as you get into the castle. And it's hard to believe that this was built in the Middle Ages, especially considering how high some of these bits actually are. It's absolutely staggering. Take your time to explore the castle, guys, and if you want to know a little bit more of the castle, there's plenty of informational placards around so that you can read about the history of the castle. It doesn't matter where in the castle you go, you always get a great view of the outside and of the castle itself. Take note of all the sculptures lying around because it indicates what this part of the castle was used for. Now, to get the best views, you're going to have to climb up these spiral staircases, and they can be a little bit narrow in places, so I highly recommend that you take your time. So guys, after you've climbed the spiral staircase, the massive spiral staircases, you're kind of greeted on these turrets. Now, believe it or not, all these turrets pretty much look the same. They're all pretty circular, they're all pretty old, and they're all pretty high up. You get some fantastic views of Conwy here, and if you don't believe me, check this out. So one of the great things about Conwy Castle is the fact that you can explore pretty much everything. So we're walking on the walls of the castle at the moment. You get some fantastic views of all the turrets, and pretty much everything that used to be here you can pretty much see. I mean, I know that's not a great angle at the moment, but you can pretty much see everything here on the top level, and obviously you don't have to climb every turret. I'm going to for the purposes of recording, but generally you don't have to. Once you've seen one, you generally seen them all, but you do get some pretty cool views no matter which one you go up. So if you're dead inside and you hate this place for whatever reason, at least you don't have to be stuck here looking at old stuff. You've got some fantastic views of the town and the Welsh Valley below. You've got some pretty cool views of the beach, don't know if you can see that down there. And on the other side is Conwy Town and its harbour, so there's plenty of stuff to look at. You'd have to be pretty boring in order to not find this place fun. By the way guys, one other thing, don't do anything silly, play it safe, because most of the time it's a big massive drop down. There's some interior displays here at Conwy Castle, and some of them are actually interactive, so you get an idea of what life was like back in the day. Wow, those two are really realistic. And oh wait, no, they're just tourists. That doesn't count. Construction. Ruined perfectly good shot. So once you've finished looking at the castle, you can actually go outside and walk along the wall that surrounds the town of Conwy. And believe it or not, you can walk all the way along this ancient wall and circumnavigate the entire town in about 15 to 20 minutes. If you are going to walk along this wall, please note that it's an ancient wall
It's fairly treacherous in places, so I highly advise that you be careful, especially on a rainy day. But there's plenty of places to access the street level should you need to for whatever reason. Now, if you do decide to walk along the entire wall, there's the castle in the background, be sure to know that there's some places that are really steep, like this. And it's quite a trek, so you'll definitely need a good set of quads and hamstrings. Boy, I look really tired in this video. If you do follow the wall around, you'll eventually get to the harbour. Now, the harbour is basically a harbour. There's lots of boats that you can see and watch. You can get yourself some fish and chips and ice cream, but it's really no different to a harbour that's back in your hometown. Except for this, the smallest house in Great Britain, with a funny dressed woman standing in the front of it. That's worth a check out. Eventually though, it does lead you back to the drawbridge out of town. And if you do like your castles, guys, I highly recommend that you visit Conwy once in your life. Okay Nin, I'm sold. What do I do? Well, you'll need to come here to Conwy Castle. It's a major town in the north side of Wales, and there are trains and buses that go there, but I highly recommend that you actually drive. There's a car park literally right outside. The cost to do Conwy Castle? It's about £10. Obviously if you're a kid or a senior, it's slightly less. Is there anything else I need to know? Not really. It's pretty much as I've described it in the video. If you do like castles, or if you do want to explore some Welsh history, I highly recommend that you visit this place once in your life. If you have found this video at all helpful, please be sure to like, share and subscribe. Comment on the comment section below, and if I get enough suggestions for another bucket list idea, tweet them at me, and I'll seriously consider doing that. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
And if you're pretty much dead inside and you hate this place and you hate old stuff and castles, at least you get a lovely view of Conwy Town. Oh, I almost decked it there. At least you... Come on, man.